So, I saw a movie 2 years ago. Feel like now might be a good time to finally review it. Let's get into this review for the Toxic Avenger 2022, or 2023, or 2025, whatever year it is. Let's go. Welcome back to the Cinefanatics. My name is Robert Adams, and today, I can't believe I'm finally doing this. Today, I have a spoiler-free review for the Toxic Avenger remake that's coming out in 2025, but I saw it 2 years ago at Fantastic Fest 2023. Again, this is going to be spoiler-free, so if you don't want to know anything, you're fine here, especially because I saw this 2 years ago, and I don't actually remember a lot of the intricate details of this movie. I have the baseline idea, which is what I'm going to talk about, but I don't know anything really spoilery about this movie, so you are free to watch this without being spoiled at all whatsoever. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Like, subscribe, you know, all the YouTube things. Like I said, I saw this at Fantastic Fest 2023. It was my first Fantastic Fest. I am going again this year, 2025. This is going to be my third year going, so make sure you do subscribe to us to follow everything I'm doing. Follow me at RCA Reacts on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, possibly all those things, so you can see what I'm doing live while I'm at Fantastic Fest. It's going to be fun. I got the press badge this year. I'm going to be interviewing people, talking to the actors, directors, picking their brains about what made their movies tick. I'm excited for this year. It's going to be the best year yet. Anyways, getting back to the Toxic Avenger. Saw it at 2023, and then it played from there. It played at Beyond Fest like a week later, and then it played out of competition at Sieges, the Sieges Film Festival, and that was like October of 2023, and that's it. Those were the only three places it played, and if you happened to be at one of those three places, you could have seen this movie. Otherwise, we've all been sitting here waiting for this movie for like 2 years. History behind it, apparently it had a hard time getting a distributor. A lot of the news and everything said that the reason it had a hard time getting a distributor is because it's just super ultra gory. If you are a fan of Trauma and the original 1984 Toxic Avenger, you would probably surmise that, yeah, that makes sense. I'm going to be realistic with this. It's not as gory as the Terrifier movies. The gore is over the top. It is silly. It's not quite as, like, what I would say as dangerous as it was in the original Toxic Avenger. Specifically, I'm talking about, like, squishing a kid's head. I don't recall anything on that level of just, oh my gosh, I can't believe you did that. This one is more passive, more fun. There is some outrageous gore in it. There's no squishing of kids' heads, but plenty of other body parts getting ripped up or mangled or eviscerated. If you want to see that, yeah, this is still going to be a good movie for that. So if you are a fan of Trauma, that kind of stuff is still very present in this movie. I don't feel like it's quite as much as what I typically expect from your general, like, Lloyd Kaufman Trauma. This isn't going to be anywhere near as plentiful on that gore as, like, say, like, the original Toxic Avenger or Class of Nukem High, or was it Poultrygeist? Poultrygeist was insane, but yeah, I don't feel like it's quite brimming that much with gore. It is a lot of fun, though, so getting back to how it was not able to be distributed, apparently Cineverse/Screambox decided to pick up the distribution rights in January of this year, which is funny because Cineverse/Screambox is also what picked up distribution rights for Terrifier 2 and 3. So it is kind of still like coming full circle back to Terrifier. I love that, but the look of this movie is very fantastical. It is, like, very much, it's a backlot set. If I remember correctly, I want to say this was shot on the same exact backlot set, I can't talk, as 2022's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So if you go and you like that movie and you go to watch this, you're probably going to recognize some of the scenes. Thinking back on it, yeah, I definitely could tell certain areas that were on that same lot. So The colors, though, are very saturated. This is very much hitting the comic booky look and feel. Again, that's great because since the 1984 Toxic Avenger, we've had plenty of sequels, comic books, and especially one of my favorites from childhood was the Toxic Crusaders cartoon that played on Saturday morning for kids in the early 90s. Toxie had like a floating fur ball as a friend. He had his trusty mop, and he had a wide assortment of other like mutated, toxic type of creation mutants that lived with him at his junkyard. This is also coming off of the popularity of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, where they decided to make a whole bunch of mutant superheroes, whether it was the Street Sharks or the Cowboys of Moo Mesa or Bucky O'Hare or whatever. That's where this Toxic Crusaders kind of landed. So there are other characters from that. That being said, the look of Toxie, this was another thing that like people didn't know. Like if nothing else, people were wanting to see this movie, but more than that, they wanted to see what Toxie was going to look like. There was a teaser trailer that came out when this premiered at Fantastic Fest. It didn't show Toxie, it just showed kind of like a small clip from the restaurant scene that this movie recreates from the original. They showed that, but they didn't show Toxie's face. You just saw him in like shadows as a silhouette. But I did say at the time when I did the ranking of all the movies I saw at that Fantastic Fest that this one did kind of feel very reminiscent of the way Toxie looked in the Toxic Crusaders cartoon. Come to find out, that's actually what they were going for. Director Macon Blair said that he was really trying to emulate the original Toxic Avenger, get that feel and look, but also kind of pick apart some other things from other parts of it. That being specifically Toxic Crusaders. So that makes sense because it does, again, it has that bright, oversaturated colors, that look of a comic book movie. This movie wants to be playing in the realm of like current comic book movies, like the Superman movie that just came out, how overly saturated, over the top it was with colors. This is the type of movie that it kind of wants to be that, just with a lot of like gore so, and cursing and whatnot. Gore, cursing, nudity, all of those things that you just absolutely love when you watch a Troma movie. I do love that during the premiere of this at Fantastic Fest, Lloyd Kaufman, the head of Troma, was also there in attendance and presented a certificate to Macon Blair. Basically, if I remember correctly, it was just giving him a warm welcome into the Troma family. Say, like, you made this a great movie, you're a part of the Troma family, welcome to all the whatever degenerate splatterhouse fun that Troma has. So he's joining a large plethora of creatives who started with Troma. Speaking of Superman, James Gunn also got his start with Troma. That's why you may have seen Lloyd Kaufman in a couple of movies. Like, I recall him in Guardians of the Galaxy. He also had a cameo in Superman. So that's why paying homage to his start there. As far as Toxie goes, other than like the makeup on him, obviously you've got Peter Dinklage playing Toxie, which, I mean, was a choice. I remember when this first was announced that he was playing Toxie, I was like, cool, he's a great actor, but there's something about Peter Dinklage playing Toxie. I'm not exactly sure what it is. I can't put my finger on it. But, I mean, I looked at it and I was like, okay, so you've got a dwarf actor playing Toxie. Cool. Run with it. And he does a fantastic job with this. I don't mean to say, like, it's a dwarf actor that, like, that's negative. I like the choice that they went with this, and I think they did a really good job. What's funny, though, is he's not the actor that's in the makeup. They had a completely different actor. It's Luisa Guerrero. Sorry if I am butchering the hell out of that name. My apologies. But apparently she's also like a stunt performer as well. So she performed as Toxie, and they just had the voice dubbed by Peter Dinklage. I did not know that. I did not know that at the time that I was watching it. It wasn't until very recently I went back to review and read up on this movie so I could try to jolt and recall certain things from this movie, and that's where I learned about that. So I was impressed by it. I think she did a very good job. Especially, again, I thought it was Peter Dinklage the entire time. You got Jacob Tremblay is playing his son. Peter Dinklage plays a character named Winston Goose instead of like Melvin Ferd or Melvin Junko as he was in the sequels or the Toxic Crusaders cartoon. So they changed it just to a completely different character. Jacob Tremblay plays his son who's like trying to connect with his father, and it's not quite working out right. There's a medical condition that Winston Goose is trying to get like coverage for. I believe like he's trying to get financial support or insurance coverage through his employer, and he's just not able to push that far. His employer is played by Kevin Bacon, which is great. Kevin Bacon in a Troma movie. Those of y'all that are familiar with the wide array of movies that Kevin Bacon could be in, hence the 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon game, it's nice to see him coming over to Troma. And then you've also got Elijah Wood playing, he's like I guess like a minor villain. He is Kevin Bacon's son in this movie, and he's really got like this like Quasimodo type of look to him without like the hump or anything. But yeah, they all do a great job in this movie. And then, yeah, director Macon Blair, he acted in Murder Party, Green Room, and he did this like one-off like little indie film. I believe it was called Oppenheimer. So yes, he is directing this movie as well. Overall opinion, I feel like this movie has that Troma feel. The characters are acting in absurd ways that you expect from Troma. There's just something slightly off about it. People make decisions and do things that don't seem to fit in with how most people would typically react in those situations. But it's nice because that helps keep you based in this world, but also it allows you to remove yourself from that situation, and that's what makes accepting all the insanity that this movie does, the gore, what happens with it, and everything. It makes it acceptable. So I like that. That's a great thing that Troma has always done. It doesn't push the boundaries like Troma. Like I said, there's no like squishing a kid's head or anything like that in this movie, and it does recreate the restaurant scene from the original Toxic Avenger, just in a fun, slightly different way. It is fun, it is gory, it is deranged like Troma is. But if I have to say anything negative, I would say it has a little bit of a pacing problem. Primarily at the beginning, as we're getting to know Winston and his son and all the issues and troubles that they have to go through. I felt like I was sitting there just like counting the minutes until he has whatever kind of accident he needs to have to turn into Toxie, because I wanted that Toxic Avenger immediately and I wanted to get to the action. So it was a lot of fun doing that, but it felt really slow on the pacing there at the beginning of it. Otherwise, I would say if you are a fan of this franchise, you're very likely gonna like this movie, especially if you're a fan of the original. I know like 2, 3, and Citizen Toxie can be kind of hard to watch at some points, but if you're a fan of the original, you're probably going to be a fan of this one as well. It is Troma. It still has that Troma look and feel. So that's probably all I'm going to be able to remember about this movie. Again, make sure you follow us here on Cinefanatics, as I am going to Fantastic Fest again this year. Follow us at the Cinefanatics on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok. You can also follow me at RCA Reacts, as I'm going to be tweeting out things that I'm seeing or interacting with. Everything that I'm excited about with Fantastic Fest, you'll see me tweet about it there. So make sure you follow at RCA Reacts, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Letterboxd, also youtube.com/@RCA Reacts. Make sure, again, you subscribe, follow us here at Cinefanatics, as I'm going to be doing videos about what I'm anticipating seeing at Fantastic Fest. What are my guesses this year for the secret screenings? And then after Fantastic Fest is done, you're going to want to come back to see how I rank all of those movies. That's a lot of fun getting into those rankings, because there's movies that they're showing that still haven't even come out yet. As of this recording that I'm doing right now, earlier today, they released the first trailer for the movie Bone Lake, which I saw last year. There's a movie that still hasn't come out yet that I saw last year. So make sure you come back, hear my opinions on these movies, because some of these movies, who knows when you're gonna see them. So it's gonna be fun to hear about anything you can about some of these movies, so you know what to keep an eye on in the future. Thank you for watching this video. Again, we appreciate each and every single one of your views. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.